All right, time to welcome in Taylor Jones, who now is coming off quite a season as we hit the end of the regular season of your senior year. You're on pace to rack up your most starts since your freshman year, 2019, at Oregon State. What's been the key to maintaining your health this season?
It's been pretty difficult, but having to it all started in the off season. This past summer was the first summer that I haven't had a surgery or a major injury that I was rehabbing since my junior year of high school.
Oh my gosh.
And so that plays a big factor in it.
I bet.
So actually being able to have an off season and working with Zach, our strength coach, to be able to get my body as strong as possible, and just knowing I know my history of injuries, and knowing Zach knows what I could do to prevent it. And so just doing that, and also still maintaining certain rehab processes that I've been doing, and just trying to do everything, use all the resources I can to stay healthy. And I think at Texas there are so many options. It sort of is, I think you would be kind of dumb not to use them, especially in my shoes.
Absolutely. Yeah. What would you say the team's identity is at this point with 2 to go in the regular season?
Our identity, Coach Schaefer actually asked us this question the other day in film, and we would say our identity on the court is defense, and that's always has been Coach Schaefer's. And our team, we're very, very offense dominant. If we've lost a game this year, it hasn't been because we can't score. Right. It's usually been the defensive end. And so just trying to make that our identity.
Is that purely an effort thing,
yeah,
or it is?
100%, yeah.
It's refreshing to hear you just admit that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's it takes a certain skill to be able to do what we do, but we've all been doing it for so long. Coach Schaefer, he only accepts 100%. And so if you're not giving 100%, then you might not win the game, because we are just focused on defense. And it doesn't matter if we rack up the score 130. If we let the other team score more than what they should, he will be mad at us and we won't be content with it. And so, yeah, I would say that's one of our identities. And I think just perseverance too. This year's not been easy with the adversity that has hit us, but it's nothing new. If you look back at last year, it was similar, not the same, but we did have a lot of adversity hit us. Yeah. And I think when Rory went down, we had to find a certain strength within ourselves, and everyone sort of had to reimagine their role on the team, because Roy did so much for us. And even as a 5 player, I am nowhere near being a point guard, but everyone's role changed. And so I think that we have done a good job at persevering through the hard times this year. And yeah, I think those two are our identity.
What do you make of the way that Madison took over the point after Rory's injury?
I actually, I don't have words for it. I think it's amazing. And I mean, we've seen how great she was before Rory went down, but I think her just being in this spot where she has to sort of put on this show every single night for us, there was no other option. And I think that she is just fearless in doing so. If you watch the way that she plays, she just plays her heart out. And I think that that has translated through all of us. If you see your point guard, whether it was Rory or Maddie or anyone, playing their guts out, then the rest of your team will follow. And so I'm just really, really proud of her. And if you were to watch her without knowing anything about her, at least if I would not guess that she was a freshman.
Oh, not at all.
No, yeah. Not only is she, I think, the best freshman in the country, I think she's one of the best players in the country.
That effort you said by her, I mean, it's evident, and just so calm and poised, never seems rattled.
Yeah, and just it takes a certain level of maturity to do what she's doing, and I cannot imagine the stress that she feels and how hard it must have been and nerve-wracking at the very beginning having that role. I mean, the first game, either the first or second game without Rory was against Baylor, and so yeah, it's a pretty big beast. And so I'm just really, really proud of her, and I think everyone on the team can say the same thing.
Being a senior, did you offer any advice to her at first, or just in general to some of the younger players this year?
Yeah, I think me being a 5 player, it's a completely different position. So Rory's done a great job at sort of offering her the advice like for that position. But I would say as a senior, just reminding her like, hey, it's okay to mess up, because she's very hard on herself. Like, she holds herself to a crazy high standard, and I think it's amazing. But just reminding her like, hey, it's okay to mess up, like, you're okay. And just sort of helping her I would say like helping her just not get in her head, because it's really, really easy to do that in her position. And I just remember as a freshman when I was at Oregon State playing a big role on that team, and sort of like the pressure that you feel. And I was only like, I am nowhere near what she's at and the level that she's at as a point guard. But I just remember that stress. And so just helping her like, hey, it's okay. And like if she doesn't remember a play, like usually me and Shay will help her out. And so, yeah, I think it's been really cool to see.
I was told by Texas team officials that you took a charge on Saturday in Central Florida. That was the first one you've taken officially since you arrived on the 40 acres?
Yeah, that actually was the first one I have ever taken in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, so this past week, Coach Schaefer had told us before we played against UCF that they run a lot in transition. They rely a lot on getting to the paint. And so
is that his way of hinting for you to get ready to?
I mean, he sort of told all of us like multiple times, like, we have to take charges this game in order to stop their attack. So as a team, we took 7, which is crazy. And so it was just a really big point of emphasis. And I'm usually never in the position to take a charge. No one had ever even taught me how to take a charge before this year, because I'm just super tall and long and I can block shots. And so it's like, why should I attempt to take a charge?
Right.
And I'm probably not the best at it. I don't do it that often.
Look good form and everything.
Well, they also didn't show right before I tried to take another one, but they called it a block. So yeah, he just said, let's try and take charges this week. And I was like, okay, coach, let's see if we can do it.
You all did well, 7 of them, as you said. Before we let you go, you probably do the best Vic Schaefer impression on the team.
I don't know about best.
What would he say going into the big matchup Wednesday night in Norman against Oklahoma? What would be some of the advice, the catchphrases he would offer up?
He's been saying a lot recently, and I actually really like the quote. It's like, whenever we had 4 games left, or now he'll be like, 2 more games for the rest of your life. And I think
you have to say it in the Vic voice, though.
2 more games for the rest of your life. And just, I really like that phrase, because it's true. And he always says there's like 2 more championship games ahead of us. So
he's got a lot of good ones.
A lot. Yeah, if you just hear him in practice, his Southern accent just adds a certain flair to it that makes it great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again, Taylor.
Yeah,
good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.